changed.
Oh, maybe.
But Enrico, your subtitle is redundant. Last and ultimate mean the same thing.
Yeah, but that's rhetoric, which is redundant.
But it is cute.
Yeah.
But it is cute.
Yes.
And then we can talk about your DPL.
Can we start? Can we start? Okay. So let's welcome with us one of the men with the funniest talk you will ever meet here.
Which is not true because I have a hangover from last night, so I'm going to be boring and fall asleep in the middle of the talk.
So one of the funniest men ever you can visit the talk, at least for the half time. Telling you some nice stuff about Debtags and how to organize many, many packages and search in them. Please, a warm welcome for Mr. Enrico Zini.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Debtags presentation, title Acute Presentation of Debtags, subtitle, of course, the last ultimate step towards total world domination, which is, just because it's my compulsive titling, it's actually the best way of knowing what's in Debian without becoming an FTP master. Well, there's actually another better way, which is being the Debtags maintainer, and then you tag packages, and then you have to know about everything in Debian because you have to, well, okay, that goes later. The contents of the talk, I will talk about the current problems that need to be solved. It's very easy to talk about the problems, so I will do my quick ritual, and then I will explain to you the theoretical background of Debtags. And then I'll do a demo of what's around. So let's get to the problem with some flame war, like shit. So we have 17,068 packages. Actually, we don't have that much, but when I created statistics, that's what it decided to do. Which may be a bug in Debtags, but that's going to be something else. And binary packages. So it's pretty hard to find out things. When you get the list, like, what package do you want, is my favorite question in Debian. It's really an easy question. But it's one of the ones which is hardest to answer. And compare that with this problem that brain tends to like go away when you have more than 7 plus minus 2 items. That like 17,000 is a bit bigger than 7 plus minus 2, which means we will never have a full understanding of the entire Debian archive unless we do something about it. We have sections. There's 33 of them, more or less. But that doesn't really help, because if you divide 17,000 by 33, supposing you distribute things equally, then you have way more than 7 plus minus 2 anyway. And then there's categorization problems, like that you can only have one section per package, so where do you put OpenOffice? I mean, is that, it does pretty much everything. Or last night there was the problem of how to categorize a kernel driver to access digital camera. So does that go in graphics? But it's a kernel driver, so that maybe goes in admin, but then it's about, well. So that's the idea. Or we can do full text searches. That's some example full text searches I did. So if I look for a web browser, I get 197, which is more than 7 plus minus 2, like 2 more. Text editor, 170. And if I look for a GNOME text editor, I get 9 results. 3 of them, they're not editors. 6 of them is Emacs. And then if I upcache search image editor, I get 22 things, but not GIMP. So, well, they kind of work, but could be improved. So there's my best favorite way, which is word of mouth. So telling each other what's the best package, and we can trade like we do in Italy with stickers of football players. I don't know if that exists only in Italy, but when we are children, we have like albums with empty spots, and you buy the stickers and you put them, and you have to complete it and trade with friends. It's pretty nice when you are like 8 years old. So we can do the same, which is fun and easy. So that's my list of favorite packages. I go, what? I didn't understand the question.
He said there, he pointed out that your brain
Right.
is a rule.
Your brain is
It's, okay, so you won't understand it. Right, so I can fix it. 2, 4, 6, 7. Line. Yeah, actually, well, cappuccino is the most important, and Polygen is the second most important. So now you all install them in your laptop, right? Okay, so word of mouth or black magic. You can do searches. Okay, you can search by. Does that amplify? No, because video people, I'm not hearing my voice. Do you hear my voice from the speakers?
If you're not hearing your voice, you just went deaf.
No, I mean, is everything okay?
No, you're not coming through the PA.
So we may have problem with the recording. Right, okay. Hi.
That's better.
I can use this, no problem. Okay, better like this? Good. So you can search packages by Blackmagic, like with some, which may work, but may not be that intuitive. So let's see what we really need. Well, the main task is narrow the package list down to about 7 plus minus 2 to be compatible with the brain. Now, the capacity of my brain is actually 3 plus minus 1 because of the alcohol. So if you ask me a question, please don't say more than 3 or 4 words in the question. And so narrow down the package list. I don't. At least I personally don't care about an exact match. I don't want a system that knows what I want better than I do. I only want to narrow to a list of packages that I can actually read without spending the weekend on it, and which has a high likelihood to contain what I'm actually needing. And we need to describe packages from different points of view, since we have different kinds of users. So you can imagine that the priorities of a developer is different than the priorities of a lawyer or a scientist or a kid. And so we need different points of view. And there's an insane variety and diversity of Debian packages. I mean, we have like Debian for dentists with Odonto Linux, maintained by a dentist, which is a Debian developer. And also, he's from Rome, and he's the dentist of another Debian developer. Like, I so much love this. Like, there's a Debian developer who has a dentist who is a Debian developer. It's like, fix the bug. We have things for quantum mechanics and painting programs for children, for kids, and like lots of things. Huge variety, which gets it quite hard when you go to categorize them, because it's really easy to categorize like image editing plugins. You have already a context, you're talking to people in graphics and so on. It's less easy when, you know, there's pretty much everything. And Debian changes continuously. So we also need something which can cope with evolving things. Like, for example, the sections, they needed to be updated from time to time. But if we do like a major redesign of sections, we need to go down 16,000 packages to like fix everything. So, I mean, these actually needs to be taken care of. And then, well, in order to be complete, I need to, well, we also need many other things, right? But this is what we generally need for Debtags. So let's see how we manage. And that's the Debtags theoretical foundations. There was an Indian in the room, I think. I remember, maybe not. Okay, well, anyway, I'll thank him later for having given us. That's the first Debtags developer. I can't read it, but it should, well. Okay. Okay. Manoj, what's the name of Manoj?
Manoj Srivastava.
Okay, good. We have a good leader.
And we used to have a developer named Vaidi Nathan Mayoranjan.
Okay, and how do you spell Nickelmeyer?
So we have that on recording in your pronunciation.
Okay.
Just for fun.
All right. So I should read it for the fan at home that will watch the video. So it's Shiyali Ramamrita Ranganathan. I tried. Well, okay. Actually, I didn't. I mean, that was not my intention to have fun of him because it's he invented library science, and it's been quite a person in the categorization work. And well, that's the laws of library science. And yesterday, the gradient was different. It looked really neat, and now it looks really stupid. I wanted to set it on stone. I've been getting a nice gradient, but it's gone. Anyway, this is Ranganathan's laws of library science, which I just replaced books with software and library with Debian. And we have the laws of software library science. So it's nice to go through all of them. I hope they're readable, especially the last one. So software is for use. I mean, it's not just to sit there and to say, I made the software, which happens to be the case for many Debian packages. But, well, software is to be used, so you have to find it, right? And to every user, is or her own software. There's not a software that fits everyone, and so everyone must be able to find their personal software. So personality of the user is part of the search. And every software has its user. Well, that's the opposite side, but software implies different software imply different kind of users. You have to save the time of the user. I guess you like this one. And so you need to find things quickly. And Debian is a growing organism, so things need to adapt. And so what he came up with is faceted classification. These are a bit scary, but right. So which is, that's one definition I found. It's about using clearly defined, mutually exclusive, and collectively exhaustive aspects of a subject and use them to categorize. So basically, you find different aspects of packages, and inside every aspect, you have categories. So there's not a unique namespace of categories. I do it like programmer style, I say namespace. Every namespace has is related to an aspect and describes it. So we can have what's the use of the package, and so you will find categories like editing and showing, viewing, playing, so on, and gaming. And then we can have what kind of data the package works with, and so we have image, text, source code, and so on. And then we can have what language the software is implemented in. And so that means C, C++. And then we can combine all of them to create combinations of these different aspects, allow us to categorize with an insanely huge amount of possibilities, because then we do combinatorial composition of different dimensions. So it's like different dimensions. And so we put the package in a multidimensional space, which is pretty neat. Well, anyway, there's many sets of categories, one for each aspect of packages. And so we categorize under different points of view. So that's me under different points of view. And we do the same with packages.
Nice teeth.
Thanks. Well, actually, this one is fake, this part here. But it doesn't show, so I have a good dentist. But she doesn't run Debian. I'm working on that. So, Debtags. We have different aspects. They're called facets in Debtags. This is an example list of facets. Actually, it's an extract. It's what I said before. So we can categorize what the language that it's implemented in. It's really useful if you look for code examples. And the kind of user interface, command line, X, curses. The role of the package in the system. Is it an application, a plugin, a theme, a library? And the purpose of the package, what does it work with, and many others. Facet is not a category. They are containers for categories. And they contain tags. Well, tag is the same as category, but it's shorter, which is really useful when you use it a lot, especially in code. You just have to have like shorter class names. And this is an example of the different categories for roles of packages. So you can see, like, if you look at what's the role of the package in Debian, that's the possibilities you can see. The whole set of facets and tags is contained in the vocabulary. It's a text file which lists them. And the vocabulary is maintained on Subversion by the people subscribed to the members of the Alioth Debtags project. And Debtags allow to have more than one vocabulary and merge them together, which is a really neat thing we're going to see later. But I just wanted to point out that they can be merged. And then a tag database that contains what are the tags associated to packages that can't go in the packages file because I want to avoid being like flamed to death, because that would increase the packages file by another, at the moment, 700 kilobytes, and then it would require like constant changes to the packages file because tags change pretty often. So it's external. It's maintained in this place for historical reasons, but it still works pretty well. It's editable by everyone, so it's really open to denial of service attacks, but we do backups. And so, but we made it wiki-like just to have a get data as much as possible, as fast as possible. And that's the tag database. And now, those were the fundamental concepts. They were less than 7. You will appreciate that.
Were they more than 2 less than 7?
Fewer, not less.
So now I can show you. I can show you some Debtags things. I did. It's a. You want a double check, just in case it crashed? So, the question was if I did start the VNC screen grabbing system, which is kind of internal, so I didn't actually. All right. There's like 2 main, well, 3, well, 2 main Debtags programs at the moment. 3 actually. One is Debtags, unsurprisingly, which prints a nice help in command line when you invoke it. The most important, well, one of the important things with Debtags is Debtags update. This will download, it will require root and download an updated version of the package database. It will download it from its etc Debtags sources list, which contains tag sources. It would be nice if apt would like ignore things which don't start with deb, so I could merge it in apt, but maybe it's better like this. And you can add more things, and they can be merged. We'll see an example of it later. But I still like this merging thing. I consider myself really smart for having conceived it. So, and you can do debtags cut. And so you can see like package, tags, easy. You can do debtags grep with tags. And then you get, and grep is quite nice. You can do things like and then we get raster image editors. Well, maybe you want to see it more visible. That's image editors that work, yeah, well, image editors. And how many people use GNOME? How many people use KDE? Damn, it's even.
TWM. TWM.
Okay, well, that's not a, well. I can do things like and not, I run GNOME, so I say the and not GNOME, so that balances a bit. And I don't want the GNOME ones, and so that goes down, and then I can say that I want and interface x11. And you see it gets down and down and down, and you narrow, and you get to a nice number of 7. Got it. So this is already.
But what about the complex?
Well, yeah. Oh, that's another one. Okay. The question was. Thanks. The question was. Well, it's really nice, but about the complexity of remembering all the 400 debtags tags. Which is a really good question. But we have like graphical interfaces for it. So that can, well. So that's a use. You can actually do something like really hardcore. Install all of them. Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry. Yeah, okay, I'm not rude, but I don't want to install them, so that's a good protection. When you are in hangover.
Wait. You mean Debtags doesn't have a -S option for simulate? Just like apt?
Oh, does apt has it?
Yeah.
Damn
Actually, it has -S and then about 5 synonyms.
Okay, sorry, the question is apt has a simulate switch, and so Debtags could do the same. I didn't know it. Thanks for the question. That will probably be implemented. File a bug. And then you can like search tags. And like this sort of things. But anyway. Debtags can do like other cute things. Well, grep install, we've seen them. It can generate a to-do list for you, which is a list of the packages installed in your system that have no tags yet. So you run debtags to do, and you get to work. You have installed them, so you know something about them, right? That's shame on me, because I still have work to do. And you can do like crazy stuff, like generate a list of tags associated to maintainers. I mean, I can like get every maintainer and get all the categories associated with all the packages. And then I can do, like, let's pick a random maintainer. Then I can do
props for avoiding the useless use of CAD.
Okay, so I can see who are the maintainers related to Brandon, like they maintain something similar.
Nothing related to me is worth tagging.
So I can do Debian developer matchmaking. I mean,
None of those people are here.
Debian lead maintainers?
I can actually do matchmaking with groups of
The Linux
maintainers.
maintainers here.
So it's like if we have a group of Debian developers going out for drinking, who should they call to go out with them? I mean, that's one of the possibilities of Debtags. You see the data is pretty flexible.
Enrico, let's see if the cabal is reflected in that.
Okay, later. There's no cabal.
Repeat the question.
Okay, the question was not repeatable.
The question was very silly.
I don't repeat the question because I can't. Because like,
You would be struck down.
yeah, that's like it mentions cabal, so the question doesn't exist. And I can do other like crazy stuff. I mean, this is like the neat, stupid things to show at conferences that I like to implement much more than useful things. This will go and like have a look at all the packages I have installed in my system, and look at the tags kind of around in my system, and then looks at the not installed packages, and figure out which are the packages that I may be interested in installing. I mean,
If you run GNOME and don't have libgnome Perl installed, and it ranks at the highest, it's probably not too bad. Sounds like a good guess.
yeah, well,
That wasn't a
okay,
question.
that was not the question. That was like good, well done.
Repeat.
Brandon said the result is not too bad because I actually ran GNOME and I had Perl stuff installed, so it looked like it would fit. Okay, back to more useful things. Let's go into the world of interfaces. If it doesn't segfault as usual, okay. That's Debtags edit, which is a GUI interface to to Debtags. You can do searches and you can do tagging. So you can see a package and then add categories to it, just in the blink of an eye. That's much more than 7 plus minus 2. But we are like creating funny algorithms to cope with that. And you can see that it starts with your maintainer email. It will pick it up from deb email environment variable, like to get you to work as soon as possible. If you are not a Debian maintainer, it defaults to showing you installed packages with the same idea that you should get working. So here's the entire list of 16,900 packages. We can try to do search. Again, image editor. So we want to editing. And we want to add to an editor that works with images. And we're down to 37. And then we can see, you can see it narrows down. So once you get the search started, it will help you a bit to produce things. So I can see that I have command line image editors and X11 image editors. You are curious in the command line? And that's the command line image editors. This is really tagged randomly, probably. No, not really. Okay. And
I have a serious question.
Okay, that's the question.
Some of the items didn't appear to have descriptions, like X11 and Debian EDU. Was that a bug, or did somebody just not write a description for the tag?
Okay, the question is, some of these items like X11 don't have a description. True, that should be added, but not necessarily. I mean, the X11 was a test we made, and that's probably a facet which is not going to stay.
Okay.
Because we have like interface X11,
Yes.
so that's maybe redundant. And so that's why no one has been caring too much about it. And the Debian edu one, without the description, that's another kind of experiment.
Okay.
So the mostly used ones, I mean, the ones that we are a bit more sure about, they get a bit more care. And so we narrowed down things. And we can also navigate a bit more fluidly. So I can see what can I edit with command line tools. With command line tools, I can edit 3D models, any file, plain text, raster image, vector graphics. 3D model editors for command line, we have it. And then what are the interfaces I can use to edit 3D models? Right? I've been welcome to take questions possibly at the end. Because of time issues, and exactly at the end and outside because they will shut us in after the talk, and so on. So you can actually navigate back and forth, adding and removing categories, and it gets to be quite nice. All right. More things that can be done. There was the Debian edu facet. That's not found in the central Debian tags that we maintain. It was an experiment I made with Peter 2 years ago. And we used the Debian edu distribution generation files to automatically get a list of categories. And I merged it. I told you it can merge vocabularies and tag data, so that can be merged in. And so if you make a custom Debian distribution, you can have your own categorization for your users with a language they understand, and that can be merged and blended together with the rest of Debian stuff. So you can go like Debian edu, like logic games, well, that's already quite narrowed down, and then find the command line logic games. Well, there is actually a command line logic game. Even though I don't play chess on the command line, but maybe people can do it. So Debian edu comes from Debian edu. Like Debian edu decided it's a logic game in a school environment, and the Debian people instead said that that has a command line interface. The two things are merged together, and so it actually fits different custom Debian distribution things. This is one of the neat experimental features which looks very promising. Also, like other entities can provide more tags, like GNOME people could like do GNOME tagging and then get them merged in or something. And I also can have personal tags. So there was the Enrico thing, which is not here anymore. Right. Bug. No, actually, it's a bug in my brain. Okay, well, I used to have an Enrico facet here, which would list like interesting, must look into it, essential, and I would like use it to mark packages. Maybe I see the description, it's like, hey, it's nice, but I don't have time now. And so you can imagine that integrated into Package Manager to allow you to actually put your own remarks on packages and use them to actually search. So, or you say like install all my own essential packages like Cappuccino, Polygen, Causa, and so on. And that's another neat thing that can be done. If you happen to run Debtags edit, there's a hidden menu up here. And it can show you exoteric stuff. Just random click on one, and it's basically packages that need working, found with automatic heuristics. So this was all the ones which have no tags at all. And they're just waiting for you to say, its user interface toolkit is GTK, right? And or we can do other things, like all the ones that are using some user interface toolkit, but nothing is known about their user interface. Or they're linking with some user interface library, but we don't know which language they're implemented in. So we're starting to develop heuristics to find problematic spots. And there's an automatically generated HTML big statistic thing that I don't run now because it takes like 5 minutes to complete. And you can go there and you see the packages that could need work. You click on them, you go directly to a package browser application, and you can directly add tags. So that's pretty neat. After you add tags in Debian, in Debtags edit, there's a file, mail changes to central database. Easy enough. And you contributed to tagging. So that's the other tool that we have at the moment. There's also package search. There was package search. It's been kicked out of my system by the apt6 transition. And now I re-uploaded it. It may be kicked out again because of the GCC transition. That's written by Benjamin Mezang, I think, something like that. And it's another package search tool that uses Debtags to look for packages. There's even a super experimental thing, which I just because oh, by the way, we have bindings to Python and Perl if people want to play. Every functionality is in libraries, and there's Swig wrappers. So actually, if people want to play in OKML, that can be done. I mean, the bindings can be generated. And this is another example which maybe works. After Linux Tag, I've been talking with usability people, at Linux Tag, and they gave the idea of having an improved full text search. So I can look for image editor and segfault. Okay. That spells GCC for transition a little bit, and the idea was that I can start from a full text search, which is easy, and it will already narrow down a lot the list of packages. And then I see the tags, the resulting tags, and I can do more like these, not like these. So I can go by example, like, yes, I want command line. No, I don't want shared libraries. And that would narrow down your list, and it would also compute related packages. So image editor in apt cache search wouldn't show GIMP. But in this case, I see other image editors, and I see that GIMP is related, and I put it back. So that's like new ideas to implement search in Debian. There's a lot of experiments needing to be done in that, waiting for fantasy mainly. Because you've seen the data is really quite flexible. And then I go to the conclusion, I think. It was 5 minutes left. The question was, there's 5 minutes left. So the things you can do as Debian developers is tag your packages, which is kind of hard to begin with, because there's like a lot of tags. But I direct you to some tags you know, and possibly you are the best one to know, like implemented in, the whole implemented in, face it, like what language the package is implemented in. You know it because you are the maintainer of it and you compile it. And so no one better than you can enter that data. So I mean, even if you don't do it complete, that's a good one. Adopt a facet tag. That's you can not only adopt packages, but also facet tag. For example, if you know a lot about, like you're an artist, so you know about everything messing with images, you can adopt the works with image tag and make sure that it's accurate, that all packages which have to do with images are actually having that tag. And well, also like helping, like the Debtags people could be useful. Like the website is totally underdeveloped, and the Debtags packages need, well, they're very well developed because actually I do it. They're very well maintained, but I tend not to have the time to maintain 6 packages which depend on each other. And so, or maintain a language binding and play with code to find out like smart things with interfaces and so on. That's about the play with code. There's a nice play with code thing. Don't segfold, please. Thank you. There's many great ideas needed to be discovered. So we see this is very long, right? Takes a while. I clicked, I swear.
And you don't change the cursor to a wristwatch?
No. That's much less. And there's an algorithm that can compute that some can be included in others without losing information, because it looks at all the packages and can figure out that, for example, games has been hidden, because I can say I use it for gaming. And so I don't lose much information if I take it out, because all packages which have game tags also have use for gaming. It's used for gaming tags, so it can figure out that it can safely remove it. And then when I go into use for gaming, then game will show up. So that's another, I mean, all ideas that it's a really nice experimental area. I actually would like to work for a university and be paid to do it and publish lots of papers, because it's a really fertile research environment. And yeah, play with the code. Even if you write a silly application to do very few things, it's really helpful because I have someone testing my code and give me feedback on the documentation and on the API. And those are resources. There's a mailing list, they're really friendly, because I moderate it, and whoever is not friendly, I kick him out. I should ban, actually, Andrew Suffield from ever subscribing to it. But I want to give people a second chance. Is Andrew Suffield here? No, I haven't been insulted yet. Right, OK. And there's a website which does a decent job of listing resources, at least. So the talk is 1 minute. I take just because he's the DPL, but there's another question I remember, but OK, you have the mic. Do it.
Well, I just had a couple of comments. One is this is impressive stuff, first of all, just quite seriously, because we've had for years a serious searching problem. When I first joined the project, or actually when I first started using Debian, sorry, back in 1996, I was already overwhelmed with the number of packages that were present at the time. And we are so much larger 9 years later. So this is exciting looking stuff. And second of all, I want to congratulate you, not entirely facetiously, on managing to launch this project and bring it so far along without the involvement of E-Ray Ozkaral. And maybe some of us here will remember what that name means. So I'll let you have the next question now.
OK, thank you.
You don't know him?
No.
OK, count your blessings. That's great.
OK.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
close it.
We are really out of time. Perhaps you can take answer any other questions outside. But thanks anyway, Enrico. It was again funny to listen to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So that's it for today. Tomorrow we will start at 9:05 with Debian development in the third world, Latin America, by Gunnar Wolf in this room, and in the small room above called Appealing Presentations with LaTeX Beamer by Andreas Trille. So, see you soon in the Smirky. Please get out of here as soon as possible. And please don't forget your bottles and your other trash. Thanks.